So yesterday I watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and here is my opinion about it. Firstly, I have to say that I was surprised that this movie was a direct continuation of the first Chainsaw Massacre movie. By doing so, it means that they retconned all of the previous Texas Chainsaw movies. I didn't have a problem with their decision for ignoring all of the previous Texas Chainsaw movies, similar to what they did with the Halloween franchise, but the thing that really bothered me was how badly the movie was made. I'm not going to rant about all the problems I've had with the movie, but I'm just going to focus on the ones that had me punching the wall by how stupid they were. For starters, the protagonists, or should I say, the victims of Leatherface. Every time somebody got killed I didn't feel anything for that character, no sadness, no anger towards the villain. Well, maybe there was a little anger, but not for the villain, but by how stupid each and every character got killed. To be fair, the movie had its fair share of gruesome moments, which is the point of this type of horror movies in my opinion. I really enjoyed the bus scene, where Leatherface encounters a big group of people, just waiting to be killed by him in the sickest way possible. Now, what I think is missing in this type of horror movies, is the possibility of a side character fighting back, or in this case, I wanted to see at least one or two people fight back against Leatherface on the bus, and not see everybody getting killed that easily. Speaking of characters fighting back, I was hugely disappointed when that mechanic dude was killed off by Leatherface when they fought each other. I was hoping to see the guy surviving the whole story or dying heroically at the end of the movie and not getting killed that easily by the villain. And even the way the guy got killed by Leatherface, I thought it was overkill. They didn't have to do my guy so wrong. Even those two sisters in the movie went on my nerves most of the time. How often they made stupid decisions that would usually kill a non-important character if put in the same situation, and yet they seem to survive in those life-threatening scenarios. I hate it when certain characters in the movie or even in shows or series have plot armor, where it doesn't matter what happens to them, they usually survive or quickly find a way to defeat the villain. I've also noticed that the movie tried to give subtle messages about certain delicate topics that are a big problem in the US for years now, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to dive into it. The only comment I want to give about this is that you cannot expect me, the viewer, to pause and reflect about a certain topic during a movie if I feel as if the message was forced onto me. So, back to the things that bothered me about this crappy movie. Another major thing that was poorly handled was the return of a major character from the franchise's past, and if you saw the movie, you know who I'm referring to. If you know your horror films, you know that the Halloween movies did the same thing, and you can notice this trend of how movie franchises like to bring old heroes from previous movies back to the big screen and fight, usually the same enemy, with a younger group of heroes. Like they want us to accept them passing the torch to the younger generation of heroes, which is fine, but don't forget, you also have to make a good movie for us to easily process all the messages and symbolism they want us to see. Because you can't just ignore a badly made movie, it's really distracting. Also, you can't convince me that the villain, Leatherface, is the same guy from the first Texas Chainsaw movie from all those years ago. The movie didn't give us any specific or simple explanation about him, or who he really is, or if he's related to Leatherface of the first movie. If that wasn't enough, I was also somewhat confused about the Age of Leatherface. You can't convince me this was the same dude from the first movie from all those years ago, and then when the woman from the first movie, that survived the massacre, is an old lady. By this logic, if the villain was the same character from all those years ago, he would be really old, and probably wouldn't be such a threat to the people in the movie. Now, the last thing that almost made me punch the screen while watching this movie was the third act. Firstly, the stupid actions made by the old sheriff woman, like, there was a moment where she was alone with him in a room, had her shotgun aimed against his face, almost point blank, and then she started asking him stupid questions like, "Do you remember me?" or, "Say their names," and shit like that. Not only that, but in the very next moment, when Leatherface is hunting one of the sisters, the sheriff decides to start shooting at him and faces him one-on-one, which is probably one of the most stupid decisions made in a horror movie in a while. Then, of course, she gets her ass handled really easily by him, and in my shock, I didn't feel bad for her, at all. The fight between Leatherface and the sheriff was pretty bad, but that wasn't the only fight that pissed me off. The end fight scene, where both sisters fight Leatherface together, was, in my honest opinion, really cringy. All of that stupid screaming really got on my nerves, and even certain moments where it was obvious that both sisters had plot armor when facing the villain, got annoying pretty fast. Also, the moment when they defeated him, and one of the two sisters gave him one last blow to the face, with his chainsaw, was really anticlimactic in my opinion. Not only that, but it was obvious that the blow to the face only scratched him, and you knew that he would return right away in the next scene, for that shock effect for the end of the movie. The end scene, where the two sisters think they're safe, only for Leatherface to jump out and cut the head of the older sister, was poorly executed. That scene alone made the whole movie a million times worse for me. So these were my thoughts and opinions about the latest Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. If you haven't seen the movie, please make sure to watch it on your own, don't take my word for it. I hope you found this video somewhat entertaining, and if you liked what you watched, please make sure to like the video and also, leave a comment of what bothered you in this movie, or, if you like something about it. Again, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Take care.